So I first want to just talk about the market. What's going on, what we're experiencing, what we're seeing, continuing to break records. I mean, it's really been an interesting market to watch and be included in. So, we obviously have very healthy buyer demand right now, and we've had constrained supply really for years, and that's just kind of the story across the country. And if you look at the number of unemployment insurance weekly initial claims, I mean, they've been lower in recent weeks, of course, from their peak in March and July. More than a million new claims are still being filed every week. We've got more than 31 million people claiming benefits in these programs as of early July. And, you compare that to the 2 million that we had July of 2019, and it's obviously quite impactful. But despite that, we've got some good economics going on. Again, home buyers are still extremely resilient. And part of the big reason for that is interest rates. I think we've broken the lowest interest rate. I think it's our 9th time already this year. We locked in a buyer at a 2.625 30-year fixed interest rate. Unbelievable how inexpensive it is to borrow money right now. And so people are looking at that, and they're seeing the financial incentive associated with buying right now. And then, of course, you've got a lot of people that have been staying in their homes, and for the foreseeable future, that's where they're working, that's where they're playing. And they're realizing that their home just doesn't fit their needs, or maybe they don't need to be as close to, downtown or some of the other amenities associated with living in Charleston. They want more features in their own home. And so now they're looking at moving. And so if they look at the market, here's basically what's happening market wide. And I'll give you kind of year to date stats compared to this time last year. And then we'll look at July last month versus July in 2019. And you'll see some huge changes there. But if we look at just year to date, I mean, we've put basically 4% less homes on the market. In July of last month, we put about 2,600 homes on the market. In July of 2019, we put about 2,200 on the market. So that's up about 18%. If you look at what's going under contract, year to date, we're up 14%. But here's what's kind of crazy. Last month, we put almost 2,600 homes under contract, whereas in July of last year, we put 1,700 homes under contract. That's a 50% increase. That's huge. So when you look at the fact that there just isn't enough supply to keep up with that, that's what's knocking down inventory and ultimately month supply of inventory. And if, of course, pending sales are followed by closings. And so closings are up about 5% year to date, but we closed 32% more homes last month than we did in July of 2019. It's not really having much of an impact, quite frankly, on days on market. It's stayed pretty much the same. We're at 55, 56 days on market on average. Median sales price as a result of low inventory and high demand. The median sales price is up 5%. I mean, it's up 10% compared to July of last month compared to this time last year. But prices are still creeping up a little bit. Thankfully, interest rates have actually come down to kind of level out some of that affordability. If you look at the number of homes available for sale, this is really where things just get crazy. When I go into the MLS on a daily basis and I look at the number of homes available for sale in the Tri-County area, it's harboring somewhere between 3,500 and 3,800-ish homes on a daily basis. And that'll fluctuate as listings get added throughout the day and as properties go under contract or come off the market throughout the day. But at the end of July, we had about 3,900 homes on the market. This time last year, we had 6,300 homes available for sale. That's down 40%. That is a massive, massive drop. And so usually what we see, if you just look at the seasonality of our market, is March is really when new listings start to go up. If you were to kind of chart our new listings and then properties that go under contract and close on a chart, January to December, it's just kind of like your traditional bell curve. The top of the curve is right around June as far as supply and new contracts and closings. Well, this year, of course, we had the coronavirus. We had a pandemic. And so instead of new listings going up in April, they started going down. It's the first time that's happened since we've really been tracking data in our local market. And so now we've got a 45% reduction in the month's supply of inventory when we factor in the number of homes we have available for sale and the rate by which those homes are going under contract, or that we're absorbing that inventory on a monthly basis. So we have 2.3 months supply of inventory, meaning if nothing else hit the market in 2 months, we'd be out of homes to sell on average. Of course, that wouldn't be the case because some homes take much longer to sell. Some people have higher expectations about what they're willing to accept for their home. So it's not like we're out of inventory. We'll never really be out of inventory. But there are markets, in other parts of the country that, 2 months would be a blessing for them. There are some markets in our country that have 2 weeks supply of inventory. And as soon as those properties hit the market, they're flooded with like 20 plus offers on almost every house. Very, very interesting times indeed. And so, of course, we have a lot of people moving to our area from all over the country. Think about all the folks that are moving down here from the Northeast. And you know what? For those of you that live here and listen to this show, you know what a good test is for that? Just look at the license plates as you're driving around. Look at how many different people are here from other states. North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia. I've been more purposeful in looking at that, and it really is amazing to see how many people are here without South Carolina tags. And so, as this market continues to remain a seller's market, and as sellers really do have the upper hand when it comes to negotiating, if we put ourselves in the buyer's position for a moment, a lot of these folks that want to move have a home that they need to sell first. And I will tell you that historically, our industry, real estate agents, do not do a great job with, first and foremost, presenting an offer. I can't. True story. In the past, probably 10 offers that I've received, I'd be willing to bet that at least 8 of them were just random emails that were sent to me. No effort whatsoever from the buyer's agent to present the offer, to tell them or to tell me what the buyer's situation is, to try and at least get some information out of me so that they might have the upper hand in negotiation. Obviously, I never answer questions like that, and I think agents know that when they call me and they try to probe for information that they can use ultimately against us in the form of negotiations, they know they're not going to get anything out of me because I know what they're doing. But I still respect it. I respect the agents that are trying to do everything they can to get a great deal for their clients. But the majority of offers I see are email based. And on top of that, with everything being electronic signatures these days, more often than not, I'm just getting copied on a set of documents once a buyer signs it. It's not even like the agent has taken the time to download the contract and attach it to an email and explain the offer. It's literally just I open my email and at some point in time, I've got an offer on a property. It's kind of sad, quite honestly, because then, of course, I'm going to call them and I'm going to do everything that I can to start to extract information from them so that we can use it to our advantage in the form of negotiations. But there really is, very little preliminary discussion between agents before an offer is made. And it's just, it's kind of sad to be honest with you. But a lot of these folks have home sale contingencies. Hey, I need to sell my home before I can purchase your home. And there are several ways of structuring that. But you have a lot of sellers that, because agents aren't spending the time to explain things to people or present offers, you've got sellers that as a result of that or through their learning experiences have said, I don't want to deal with that. And those are nightmares. They're really not if you do it properly. And so that's really what I want to talk about after we take a break is how do we structure these offers? If you're a buyer and you need to sell your home first, what sort of conversations do you need to be having with your agent? If you're an agent representing a seller, what do you need to know and how can you protect yourself from getting into a situation where your home is off the market for 30, 60, 90 days? And if that buyer can't sell their house, then, oh, well, sorry, you're just, you just go back on the market. That's not very fair. So we're going to talk about how to structure some of these things when we come back. But again, if you